Hi everyone, welcome to the new episode of Ask Me About My Draculas. If you are unfamiliar with the show, we explain supernatural books, movies, and TV shows. One person on the show has to not seen what we're talking about to ask questions and real dig in deep. I am one of your hosts, Kel McDonald, and I make comics that you can read at kelmcdonald.com.
And I'm another host, and my name is Ma'at Crook, and you can find me on Twitter at Ma'at Crook.
And our guest?
Hey, it's me. My name is Molly Muldoon, and you can find me on Twitter at Passing Fair, which is where I am everywhere on the internet. So if you search that, you'll probably find me. And yeah, I don't have any comics you can read yet, but I will. One day.
Secret comics.
Secret comics.
And this week we're going to talk about a Japanese movie called Vampire in Love.
Yep.
Which you can see the beautiful title page for.
That's the official movie poster.
That's beautiful.
Right?
So I haven't seen it and Ma'at hasn't seen it. So both Ma'at and I have to guess what we think it's about.
I'm very excited about this.
I think it is about a vampire in love.
Shocking.
Shocking, I know. Judging by the poster, I think that we're gonna have ditzy rom-com heroine who's kind of clumsy, so she's approachable, but she's a vampire.
Gotta work hard to make.
And she loves glitter and cute things.
And
Sanrio.
I think much like the anime that we went over, Nightwalker, she bleeds glitter.
Yeah.
And I think these little bat friends are her sidekicks that are going to
That would be awesome.
guide her in love.
But what about that tiny little Sanrio-looking panda, though?
Yeah, that's.
I think that's the narrator.
That was a good spot there, Matt.
Yeah.
All right, Ma, what do you think it's about?
Well, I'm with you. Only I think the panda is the narrator.
Okay. And I think that these bats will lead her to her love.
But also get her into trouble.
Yes.
Hijinks
ensues.
Hijinks ensue.
And then she'll be really embarrassed and shy and will miss lots of opportunities to meet her true love because she's too
She's
too
going
slow.
to trip and fall and bite the guy and then become
by accident.
a vampire, and that's their meet cute.
That is the greatest thing I've ever heard. Someone needs to make that a thing.
I'll do it
right now.
I'm going to. So that's their meet cute. Is she trips and falls and bites him, and then has to teach him to be a vampire.
I think this has got to be the cutest vampire movie poster ever.
Right? It's really adorable. Oh man. That was a big theme of me watching the movie was this is annoyingly cute. I wanted to be annoyed by it, but it was good. So I was just oh, damn it. Why is it good?
All right.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
So tell me, so you prepared a bunch of screenshots
I
for us.
prepared a bunch of screenshots.
So just tell me when we need to go to the next one.
Okay. So Vampire in Love opens, much to my surprise, in Taiwan. In Chinese, which I was not expecting. So at first I was like, am I watching a different movie than I think I'm watching? Because it's very clearly a Japanese film. But it starts with her as a child, and then the first screenshot is her parents, who are spectacular. And I love the description of her father is a gentleman from a Taiwan vampire family. Her mother is a pretty lady from Japan. First of all, what century are her parents from? That's amazing. And yeah, you would think that her mother was not a vampire from the description. Her mother is a vampire. Both of them were born vampires. Apparently, it was just more important that you know that she was a
pretty lady. Yeah,
it's much more important.
It's much more important,
as we can see from the.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
And so from the get-go, it's established that her family is slightly different from other vampire families because they don't drink human blood.
Okay.
And they call themselves warm-blooded vampires. I'm not entirely sure why. But yeah, so they live in Taiwan.
Is it because they're not cold-blooded murderers? Was that the logic to it?
Like, they keep saying warm-blooded, and I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I'm pretty sure if you drink human blood, you're also warm-blooded in a weird way, but hey.
Unless you're some lizard or some reptilian vampire.
They definitely have a shot later, which I did not get a screenshot of, when they open the refrigerator and there's all these bottled bloods, and one's definitely lizard blood. it's like soda bottles, but with blood in them. Like, everything's very convenient, which I very much enjoyed. So she's not allowed to leave her family mansion as a child because they don't trust that she would not be able to stop herself from biting somebody.
That's fair because kids do that even when they're not vampires.
Exactly. It makes sense. It makes sense.
There's a logic to this child rearing of vampires.
But one day she's out in the garden and she sees a rabbit, and instead of being the cute little girl like I want to play with her rabbit, she's like I want to eat that rabbit.
Yeah,
I want to eat that rabbit.
Good.
So she chases the rabbit.
So we have tiny girl adorably murders bunny.
She doesn't. Well, she's chasing the bunny, and she finds a hole in the fence, where she can escape into the outside world. So she's still following that bunny. She's still gonna murder that bunny, and the bunny runs into the arms of an adorable boy child.
Then she trips and meet cute happens.
It actually freaks her out because she hasn't seen anyone that's not in her family ever before. And she's like, oh, shit. And she runs away. And that's where the second screenshot comes from, where she goes to this adorable lemonade canister of blood and fills herself just a little cup of blood. Because you gotta calm yourself down. She saw a person that wasn't her family. I think I just called that convenient in all caps.
Yeah.
And then,
looks convenient, though I wonder how much clotting is a problem.
That's what I kept thinking.
That,
I was thinking that too, yeah.
It looks convenient, but at the
It
same
looks
time,
like it would get
I
clogged.
feel like there's a lot of maintenance involved with this.
Yeah.
Also, like, does it get like a weird temperature?
That's why they stay home all the time, because they're busy.
That's true. I don't know what her parents are doing. But anyway.
They're declotting something.
Yeah.
And then, of course, it drips, and we have the next screenshot, which is a blood heart.
Yeah.
And then, of course, that's where the title like comes up, and it's like vampire in love, because she fell in love with that boy at first sight, which is the implication. So then she starts sneaking out and going to play with that boy a lot, and I don't know if her family knows or not. They never really say.
They don't care.
They don't care.
They carefully watched her until that moment in her life, and then they're like, she's fine.
She's not in the house. Well, I'm sure it's all good.
Yeah.
And then they're playing in a treehouse, and that's where the next screenshot is. And I think my note is in all caps. Of course, he plays guitar.
That is a lot of sunlight on her.
That is discussed. That is discussed, but not till later.
Okay.
Because there are a lot of things that I was like, well, what vampire things do they follow and not follow? And when she goes to the treehouse, she goes up to the front, and he's like, why aren't you coming in? She says, oh, I can't come in unless you say welcome. So they do the you can't go in without an invitation thing. And so that happens. What else happens? Oh, she has a ridiculous name. Like, you find out why she has that name later, but right now her name is Kita. That's her first name.
Which sounds like killer.
Which sounds a lot like killer in Japanese. But her last name is Bon, which isn't really a Japanese last name. I guess it could be Chinese.
Could be Chinese.
Because her dad's Taiwanese. But Bon Kita is just like, hey, it sounds kind of like Vam Killer, because B and V are the same in Japanese. So Bon Paya is how you say vampire.
Oh.
But also, it's just having the 1-syllable last name and a 2-syllable first name is just not a thing people do. So it sounds really awkward. I don't know if they thought that through. It turns out later her last name is Bond because it becomes a pun. But yeah, that like.
So right now it's half a pun.
Yeah, right now it just really threw me for no reason. I was like, what? Why is that your name? But they rarely call her Bond. They always call her Kita. So yeah, so he plays her this guitar. He plays a song that he wrote. And I was all ready for it to be like the worst song. And it was annoyingly good. Like,
Okay.
It was a good song and it was catchy.
So it wasn't a, hey there, Delilah.
No, it was good. And I was so mad.
That's immediately what I thought looking at this picture.
Right? I mean, the title of my caption is, anyway, here's Wonderwall. And yeah, no, I was waiting for it to be really shitty and it was really good and I was annoyed. So they make a promise that he's going to become a singer and she's going to be his biggest fan. And then they trade. She gives him like this star hairband thing that her mom gave her. And he gives her a guitar pick. And they're like, we'll always be friends and that kind of cheesy thing. But of course, then she goes home. Next screenshot. And oh shit!
Taiwan vampire killed your parents.
Aww.
Evil Taiwanese vampire be killing parents. And luckily her grandfather shows up and whisks her away before the evil Taiwanese vampire kills her as well. And it's like super sad. And then we fast forward to her being in Japan. We'll get to that in a second.
That's a beautiful painting.
Right? So now she is 7 years later, so she's probably like 16 or 17. No, she's 20. They say she's 20. That's weird. Anyway, she works in a bakery with her family, who are all vampires. They're an all vampire bakery.
So I assume they're open all night.
One would think, but no, they're definitely closed. But that's where the pun comes from, because they're called Bon Panya, because pan is bread in Japanese, and panya is bakery, so they're Bon Panya.
Oh, okay.
It's a bad pun, but it's a pun. So yes, so they have this bakery, and they make adorable breads, and her aunt and uncle are trying to get her match made with a vampire. And I thought it was really nice because this is one of the matchmaking things they show her, and normally they're photos of people, but clearly they couldn't take a photo of a vampire, so they all are like oil paintings.
Aww.
That's good.
So that's another vampire thing, is that they can't be seen in photographs or mirrors.
Yeah, and that's never really brought up again. That's just like this one-off thing. But I thought it was a nice little detail. Also, we get to see this painting, which is great.
That person really loves playing castanets.
Yeah, he's just like, oh, I was just casually salsa dancing. And
Yeah.
He's like, these are my interests. I feel like this conveys me. I feel like, yeah, you're sending that out.
Yeah, like, hey, you might be interested in me. I enjoy salsa dancing.
Yes.
That makes me wonder what her painting looks like.
It looks like...
Oh, it looks like the cover of the movie.
Oh my god. Oh, so good. Also, she doesn't know that they did this. They did this without her knowledge. So who was just like, okay, you need to draw this oil painting of my niece, but she can't know about it. Like, and is she surrounded by bread? I feel like she should be surrounded by bread. I don't, but like, would a vampire appreciate her being surrounded by bread? It's not like they can eat it. It's very confusing.
Yeah, how does she know that she's making good bread?
She doesn't. They're secretly poisoning everyone in Japan.
Because the entire bakery is vampires. Because it's her uncle and aunt and her grandfather run the bakery with them, and they're all vampires.
Maybe they can taste it. They just can't like actually eat it.
Maybe, but you never see them eating anything. Also, throughout
Except blood.
Just blood.
And blue. We've
Smelling
established
glitter.
that vampires can eat glitter.
That's true. They don't show it on camera, but we know that it's happening.
Yeah.
So yeah, so they do that.
And for people that this is their first episode of Ask Me About My
Yes.
Draculas, go watch the Nightwalker explanation for why I keep saying that Japanese vampires drink glitter.
That's definitely a thing. So I think the next one's her aunt and uncle. Oh no, this is her talking down. So she makes a new best friend, and the way she meets her is her best friend, her future best friend, is about to commit suicide.
If you fall here, your brain juice will spill out and all your organs will come out, you know.
Oh my gosh.
So I think that just shows why that girl becomes her best friend, because clearly she talked her down from that ledge very well. And sure enough, like the next thing is just like, oh yeah, let's be best friends forever.
Because you're okay randomly talking about brain juice and internal organs falling out.
And that girl becomes the other, like she starts working at the bakery. And
So now they have someone to taste their bread.
exactly. Little does she know how vital her job is.
Yeah.
So now we have token best friend character, who is a girl from Taiwan. It's a strangely international via Asia movie, because a Korean person shows up later too, who is in Japan because she wants to become a comic book artist.
She's going to be a famous mangaka.
Obviously. And then what's the next one? Okay, that's the aunt and uncle. I realized that I hadn't gotten a shot of them. And also, this is generally what the bakery looks like. Like, adorable.
Here's the panda.
Oh yeah, the panda's a thing. You will see the panda again.
Ha.
It just shows up a lot. They make vampire panda bread at one point.
Oh, the panda has little fangs.
Yeah, he has little fangs and then he has hard eyes.
Yeah.
It's really cute. It's a really cute design. And also, fun fact, the aunt and uncle, the actors, are married in real life.
Cool.
And so I got really excited about that and then realized it wasn't a thing anyone cares about. But they're very adorable. And I also like her floofy apron, and she wears it in almost every scene.
Yeah. That's a great apron.
It's a good apron.
Yeah. I'd wear that apron.
Yeah.
They have a very adorable bread shop that I would want to frequent if I lived in Yokohama. So the next important plot point is that she accidentally goes all vampire mode on her best friend. That is what vampire mode looks like.
Purple eyes.
Right? It's like, it's another thing that I wanted to be annoying, but actually worked really well. Because, like, whenever they freak out and go vampire mode, their eyes flash purple. And at first I was like, oh my god, this is so Mary Sue. But, and it is. But, like, it's good at, like, distinguishing.
Who's a vampire or when they're hungry or whatever.
Exactly.
See, I would expect them to flash red.
Yeah. I don't know why purple. It's never explained.
I guess
Because of the movie poster.
They just want it to be as girly as possible.
As cute and adorable as possible.
It does look really creepy when, like, the evil Taiwanese vampire's eyes are purple and, like, all the darkness. So it does, it's both adorable and scary.
Okay.
So, like, it works. I don't know quite how well it works, but I thought it worked pretty well.
What's her friend's reaction?
At first her friend is scared, and this is them talking about it, and her hat is so good that I had to take a screenshot of it.
Her whole outfit is so 1990.
Right? It's so good. She stepped out of, like, MC Hammer music video or something. But yeah, so she's like, I don't know how to tell you this, but I'm a vampire. First her friend's like, okay. And then she gets really excited about it and is like, this is so cool. I'm going to draw a manga about it. Which I think is a good reaction. Cause like, if you are someone who wants to like make comics for a living, if your best friend's a vampire, A, no one's going to believe you.
Mm-hmm.
So C, I skipped B there. B, like, you can totally mine that for comics. And everyone will be like, oh, you're so clever. I never would have seen that coming. Like, yeah, neither did I 6 months ago.
Yeah. But why did she freak out on her friend?
Because she was having a nightmare. She had fallen asleep at work and was having a nightmare.
Oh.
And her friend went to go wake her up, and she like vamped out on her because she was startled.
I like her hat.
Right? So that's why I took a whole screenshot.
It's a good hat.
It's a good hat. And so yes, so now her friend knows that they're all vampires and is cool with it.
Well, they are paying her to be there.
They are paying her to be there, but
Yeah.
also like they're like her adopted family in Japan kind of thing.
And she's not worried about getting eaten?
No, she's not, because they're all like, don't worry, we don't drink human blood, and we just want to be your friends. Oh, I skipped an important part also. So, because I didn't take a screenshot of it, so I forgot it was a thing. The vampires, their little vampire family, takes this like potion that the grandpa devised that's called anti-aging potion, so that they'll continue aging and look like humans, so that they can
Blend in.
Blend in.
And people won't notice that they're not getting older.
exactly. And also they just don't really want to live forever. They're just happy with a human lifespan. So
I feel like they're missing the point of being vampires.
they just don't want to be vampires.
Okay.
Is basically the point of the whole thing. Is like, well, we don't like any of the power, and we don't really want to drink people blood. That's
Oh.
it's really cute. So they take the anti-aging, and that's what also helps them stand sunlight.
Okay.
Is the magical potion that they all drink.
I really like these panda
Right?
brands. I also like that the fangs could be misinterpreted as a goofy mustache.
Good. And at first I was like, it's so cute and it's so great. And then, nice screenshot. Then they did a dance number.
What?
Like, I'm pretty sure it was like a fantasy dance number. It was just her like projecting her thoughts onto the vampire breads. But it came out of nowhere, and it was delightful.
I like they got the little disco ball.
Right? They're living up. They got little bouquets of flowers.
Aww.
Maybe the panda is her sidekick / narrator.
It kind of is. And then in the credits at the end, the little pandas dance around and do stuff. It's pretty cute. So the next plot point is that her friend's ex-boyfriend is basically hooking up with a lot of girls and dissing her on the DL, and they run into him at a bar, and so she just goes and fucks him up, basically.
Like beats him up?
Yeah. She meets him in a dark alley, and he's just like, I know Kung Fu, and she's just like,
and I'm a vampire.
basically. So he like keeps coming at her, and she just like steps out of the way because she's so fast. And
and then she murders him.
he basically beats himself up. And if you'll notice, the guitar pick is her necklace now.
Aww.
But so yeah, so she fucks that guy up, and then her friend gets the finishing blow with a baguette.
I love her friend.
Her friend is great.
Is like got all like her friend. I feel like is very goofy early '90s outfits.
Oh yeah,
It
totally.
seems to be a theme
Yeah.
for
All
everybody.
the outfits are very good in very different ways. So at this point, we've now reached a low, like nothing's happening. So they've introduced that there will be a music festival coming up, sponsored by the bakery.
Cool.
Because why the hell not? And they're looking for a new singer that will be
Who's going to be
whoever
that
could it
boy,
be,
yeah.
to sing a song about bread. And the winner gets to sing the song about bread and also get a year's supply of the vampire breads. So I think that's a pretty enticing prize. Earlier, which I did not, how did I not get a screenshot of it? That's Grown Up Boy.
Oh, okay.
That's him reacting to someone beatboxing on the stage. He showed up at the bakery selling boob cream.
I feel like
Wait, what?
He showed up in the bakery, and he was like a door-to-door salesman, basically. And he was like, I think you should buy this. Like, he's bad at his job. And it's just like, rub this cream on your boobs, and they will grow 2 cup sizes is like the little advertisement.
Oh.
And her friend is so like put out on behalf of the main character. Like, how dare you? Her boobs are fine. But the main girl realizes that it's him grown up because his blood smells the same. And so
I feel like he looked cooler as a child.
that there is a makeover scene coming up.
Okay. Is it by the best friend, and does he then also look like a goofy 90s person?
He does look kind of like a goofy 90s person, but it is not by the best friend. So the friend is all annoyed and is like get out of our bakery, and main girl is just like, you should come to the music festival. I really hope you come to the music festival. I will buy all your boob cream if you come to the music festival. And her friend is just like, okay, if this is what you want, I support you.
Okay.
So they have a thing, and he's there, but he doesn't he's given up on his dream of
So she has to help him
inspire
find
him
music
again
or whatever. So they can both fulfill their promises.
Exactly.
All right.
So now he's very dorky and awkward. The next screenshot is just something I liked in the background, which is this balloon helmet. That's great.
That's adorable.
What is that? I'm like, oh my god, it's on her head. There's a person in there.
It's like a face. There's a little muzzle, a balloon.
Oh, okay, they're mouse ears.
She's some sort of animal.
Yeah, no, there's like mousy ears and then a muzzle. So yeah, she's like a balloon animal.
She's making balloon animals.
It's on theme.
I was paying too much attention to the plot. I'm like, wait a second. Not a person in a balloon animal helmet. Yes, it is. Why is it all festivals forever? Just this person. But he gets distracted from going away because she is selling at her little bakery stand the favorite bread that he shared with her as a child.
Oh.
And even though, of course, she didn't eat it. So she convinces him to go up on stage.
And then he sings Hey Delilah.
Well, that's the thing. I was waiting for it to be a really cheesy song, and then it was good again, and I was so mad. And this girl in the background works at a bar that they deliver food to, and she's a musician in real life. And so she comes and backs him up, and really she just looks really adorable playing that guitar the whole time. I just noticed this like giant balloon lion in the background.
That's the helmet she was wearing in the other picture.
How did I not see that the first time? That's so good.
They're all animals from the jungle. Anyway.
So of course he wins the contest, singing in front of this amazing whale painting. And he realizes midway through who she is because she says like, good luck in Chinese, the way she did when she was a child. And he's like, oh shit.
And she's the only one that knows Chinese.
She's the only person in Japan that knows Chinese, clearly. So then she's like, look I still kept my guitar pick necklace. And he shows, next screenshot, that he's wearing her hairband.
Love.
Love. I was just like, yes. That's so cheesy. You've had that since you were like 12 years old. Do you wear that every day? That's amazing.
It looks in great condition.
He's the biggest nerd.
He's the biggest nerd. Well, look at the next screenshot.
Is that his makeover?
No, that's pre-makeover. That's him showing up for a date.
That's when they're like, you need help.
Because he is still
their first date, and she's all dressed up cute, and her friend is like, oh, get it? And then he shows up and he just does that. And I was like, yes.
You must be stopped.
You're my favorite person. And yeah, so he gets his own makeover, and it's delightful.
I don't think I've ever seen a makeover montage in a vampire movie.
Right? It's breaking new ground, this vampire movie.
It's also the guy getting the makeover.
Yeah.
And this is the remove glasses.
That was what I was about to say. Did you remove the glasses?
Oh, they remove the glasses. They get him better clothes. They give him a haircut. They're basically like you know how when you shave a dog for summer
Yeah.
That's basically what they're doing for him. And he looks better, but I will miss the super awkward, dorky fellow.
This guy giving him a makeover is much cuter than him.
I know. And the actor that plays him in real life is like a idol singer actor dude. But I didn't know who he was beforehand because he's from later than when I was super into that fandom. So it's just like, he's got to be a singer. He's got to be some sort of singer. Why did they let them do this to him? So he's so unrecognizable at the beginning. But now we're gonna go on. Now that all the fun has happened, we're gonna go into more serious vampire territory.
Oh, did he get an emo haircut?
It's him post makeover.
That's him post makeover, looking much better.
You can tell it's him because of the star.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
He's wearing a shirt that says "Free Your Mind." I didn't see that the first time. So she's come over to his apartment, and she's noticed these books that she's looking at have handwritten the word vampire on the spine.
Uh-oh.
Like, what? And he's like, oh yeah, did I not mention an evil vampire ate my dad?
Also, I hunt vampires. Did you not know this?
No.
Like, he doesn't hunt vampires, but he is desperately trying to find out information about them to prove to himself he's not crazy that when he was a kid he saw a vampire eat his dad. So she's like, oh.
I think they killed my parents too.
Exactly.
This might be the same guy.
My caption of the screen cap is that awkward moment when you realize all your parents were killed by that evil Taiwanese vampire. Because he definitely is the same dude. And then he tried to feed her garlic fried rice. It did not end well.
So he has to carry
her home.
Because that garlic fried rice just knocked her down.
It actually did. There's a scene where she's like, what are you making? And he's like, garlic fried rice. And she just passes the fuck out.
Oh, no.
Nope, not a thing. So garlic, not a thing. Silver, not a thing. Can't wear silver. But crosses don't do anything to her. I don't remember why. That's definitely brought up at some point.
Might make sense because they're in Japan.
Yeah,
There's
and that's
less-
not their
yeah.
religion
Yeah.
also. So that's their thing. Also, it's brought up at some point that each vampire has their own special power. So like her grandfather's power is that he can teleport places. And her power, there's Grandpa. Grandpa's having a rough day. He has Alzheimer's disease, and that's making him a bad vampire. This is never brought up again. It's one scene.
Yeah.
And
he has Alzheimer's, and that's making him out of control.
Exactly.
But let's not talk about it.
But never mind. We didn't bring it up before, and we won't bring it up again.
Well, that's what because this never came up again, I'm like, this has to be based on an ongoing series. Because the fact that they mentioned it and then never brought it up means wherever they got this thing from, it hasn't been cleared up in the book yet. And I checked today, and it is an ongoing series.
Okay.
That explains why we don't know anything about vampire Alzheimer's. But I really like the idea of vampire Alzheimer's. I really want that to be a thing. Yeah, he just attacked a girl on the street. Which is when we found out about Main Girl's secret power, which is that she can erase people's memories. So I imagine that comes in handy as a vampire.
Yeah.
Does she have control over it?
Yeah, she touches foreheads with people, and then it erases. I don't know if she can control how much of the memory she erases.
I agree with your caption on this poster. There is no way this guy isn't evil. He is wearing eyeliner and wearing all white.
Yes.
It is 100%
Yes,
evil.
he is, right? He just shows up one day and taps her friend on the shoulder, and it was like, hi, you smell really good. Can you show me around Yokohama? And her friend's just like, hells yeah, I can. You're hot.
What?
And she ends up there is a scene where she draws a manga of him showing up to her and just being like, and she tells me, vampire girl, I'm gonna marry this dude. I'm like, you met him in a park. He told you you smelled good. Why aren't you creeped out by this?
Yeah.
I saw a wedding.
You saw what happens. So he just shows up, and at first it's all good, but then you find out later that he came because of the vampire photos, and he wants to marry Main Girl.
Oh, so he was feeling the bread pictures.
He was definitely feeling that bread picture that we never saw.
He was definitely feeling the poster for the movie.
He saw that and he's like, I'm gonna get me some of that. Also, he's Korean, which means we've got this triangle of Asia going on right now. Which is, I don't know, it was really surprising to me because usually
I bet Japan didn't like Korea or China.
oh no, they like Korea because
Okay.
Korea gives them pop idols that they can obsess over.
Okay.
China not so much, but that's why it's Taiwan and not China.
All right, that makes sense.
And Taiwan, South Korea, and Japan all have really big, thriving, like, entertainment industries.
Okay.
And so it's not unusual for them to cross over a little bit. But this has so much crossover that I was really surprised.
You think maybe it's like a joint production or something?
It might be. And like normally if they cross over with like Korea or Taiwan or something, like they bring up, it's like a very special episode kind of thing, like let's talk about racism. But this is just like, oh yeah, this guy's Korean. Oh yeah, he lived in Taiwan for a while.
So this will be Japan's Penny Dreadful, because Penny Dreadful is co-produced by Showtime and Sky in the UK. So
I think that's definitely how we should look at this. Yes.
Yeah, okay.
It's definitely equivalent to Penny Dreadful.
You told me about Penny Dreadful, but because of what you told me about it, I have not watched it.
I really like Penny Dreadful.
It's very stylish.
You just get into it, and then you're like,
Yeah.
yes, let's do this forever now.
It's very, very stylish. But we have pink things to talk about.
Nobody would dress like this in Penny Dreadful.
I'm just saying as far as an international production.
Yeah.
He's holding an umbrella. Oh,
He's holding an umbrella. Because I don't think he takes the anti-aging thingy.
So he just needs to walk around with a very conspicuous umbrella.
Exactly. But he's so special looking to begin with. I think like the umbrella is the least of the
He's in
conspicuous
all white.
things.
He's just a he's just a white splatter in this very colorful area.
So he takes to following heroine around because he wants to convince her to fall in love with him.
And then he talks to children suspiciously.
At one point, he was practicing his proposal to her and said it out loud, turned around, and there were 3 young children just listening to him and being a creeper.
I like this little girl, the closest to the wall's hair. Like,
yeah, right?
She's got like Sailor Moon hair.
She does kind of have Sailor Moon hair. It looks really awesome.
Good job, little girl.
And also, the scene just ends with this.
Yeah.
Like he says hi, they say hello, both in English, and then that's the end of the scene. I really like it. So, girlfriend.
That is delightfully creepy.
Right? It works surprisingly well.
Especially because you got like the lights in the background
that
here.
are also purple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very nice. Good job, like color management stylist people.
They did a very good job. Very surprisingly good. I think I just kept being surprised
at how not stupid it was.
Yeah, exactly. That was my entire like feeling during the movie. Like, why is this good? But yeah, so that she's having a romantic walk with her boyfriend, trying to figure out how she's going to break the news that she is a vampire. When they are attacked by bats, as you know.
I knew the bats would lead her to her love.
Yeah. So at first she pretends to be like, oh no, the bats, and then finally she just like puts her hand over and be like, back the fuck off, bats. And they fly away. But that's when he realizes, oh shit, my girlfriend's a vampire.
And then does he pass out?
Well, this is just him like hiding from the bats.
Oh, okay.
But they both get up and he looks up and he sees her purple eyes. And he saw the purple eyes on the vampire that killed his dad.
Oh no.
So this made me laugh because it just says purple eye in Japanese. But like it's written phonetically instead of like the way you would write that in Japanese. It made me laugh. It's not funny, I realize now.
For people that don't know Japanese.
It'd be like writing something in like italics and phonetically instead of just writing purple eye. It's okay, it's not funny.
He's much handsomer now.
He is much handsomer now. That's his face when he's like, "Aw, shit." He's
He's put it together. He wrote down purple eyes, and then he saw his girlfriend do freaky stuff with purple eyes, and then he looked at his notes from earlier about purple eyes.
He literally looks at his notes and sees purple eye, sees needs to be invited in, and remembers the times that she was like, "I can't come in unless you say please." And then earlier he tried to buy her a silver necklace, and she was like, "No, I'm allergic to silver." And he's like, "Oh, come on." She's like, "Get that away from me."
Oh, wow.
And so, and like,
So we just gotta put dun dun dun.
Exactly.
Him.
That's basically what happens right there. Let's see.
I was kind of like Bellamy.
He does look a little like Bellamy.
We just watched the 100.
So they break up because he can't handle her being a vampire. I really like the shirt she wears to their breakup.
You are the most beloved. Good job.
I was like, shirt.
I like that. That's like in sports team font.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if they actually knew what that said when they put her in that shirt for this scene. Because I think it was just an outfit. Like, I don't think they thought that hard.
It's very ironic.
But it's very good for their breakup scene. And then she has some soul-searching moments.
Why me? Why was I born a vampire? F.
Oh, good old subtitles. Good old misspelled subtitles. My notes are so she's having her sad soul-searching moments, and he's having his own sad soul-searching moments. And that's when you realize that all white, that's the evil Taiwanese vampire.
Oh.
Right?
You can tell from his collar.
Exactly. He's like, how could I look the most like Dracula? That's how they will know I am evil.
And the first person that was the tailor that was making his outfit, he said, "No, make the collar taller. No, make it taller.
I don't want you to be able to see my ears when I'm wearing this."
Not tall enough.
I just love, like, they just go full classic vampire hog on him. So you find out that Korean vampire is working for him and is going to kidnap her for him. So she gets kidnapped.
So he wants to marry the main character?
He does want to marry the main character.
Is there something special about her lineage, or is it just she's cute, so I'm kidnapping her?
He was flipping through the book.
He also saw that poster and was like, damn.
He was the castanets guy.
He tried to win her over with his fun side, and it didn't work.
Oh my god.
Love with her grandmother, and then her grandmother married her grandfather.
That's not creepy at all.
Right? But then he was mad because they decided to live among the humans, and he thinks that's not cool. So he's like, don't worry, I'll save your lineage by marrying you. It'll be all good. Unfortunately, right at that moment, as when Tetsu, her boyfriend, decided, I love you anyway, even though you're a vampire, and runs to her house. And the family...
As she's being kidnapped?
Like, right after.
Okay.
And also, her BFF was there at the same time, and may or may not have been killed by a vampire.
They just never address it.
They do address it later. It's just at that point you don't know.
Okay.
And so Tetsu shows up at the family house. The family's just like, okay, good. You're gonna help us fight this dude. And he's just like, okay. So main girl wakes up, has been dressed as gothically as possible.
That's probably her grandma's dress.
It is her grandma's dress, you find out later.
Yep.
He's the worst bad guy. He's
Right?
so creepy.
In my notes, you can see, of course, he wants to marry her in all caps, because I was very upset about this, and then loved grandma.
Of course he wants to marry her. Love grandma.
My notes don't make much sense. So he negs her. I think that's the next one. Yeah.
Even if you try to hide your identity, when humans know you are a vampire, what happens then? You will They will surely leave you, just like your boyfriend.
Harsh words.
Yeah.
I think my caption is just low blow. Harsh words from evil vampire. And at this point, I was like, this is like, clearly this is the climax, but there are still 20 minutes left of the movie. What's going to happen? And
Is
that's
that glitter?
her family and boyfriend show up.
It was all glittery.
Dress, yeah.
Right? Looking good.
Aunt got dressed up for the occasion
got-
of murder.
They were like, we're going to look good when we show up to this murder palace.
Is that a big bazooka thing or?
Go to the next slide.
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Monster.
Uncle used to play like semi-pro baseball before he became a vampire. So that's why he has a bat and a ball.
Oh, he does. I couldn't figure out what that was.
It's definitely like a solid gold baseball bat.
And what does the boyfriend have?
He has a giant knife that they gave him. Basically shows up to the house and they pull out a giant knife and was like, it's your job. And like, I get the urgency, but also like, he's never met these people. They're just like, I trust you to have this giant knife and go murder some people. Oh, you're way too fast.
Okay.
So Anne has a garlic bazooka,
Okay.
which shoots giant things of garlic. The fight didn't have any good scenes, so
Okay.
I didn't screen cap it. But
I
basically,
thought Mythbusters would disprove that as being workable.
that you couldn't have a garlic bazooka.
Yeah.
It's like in Harry Dresden, he has the paintball gun filled with holy water and garlic.
That seems like it could work.
That seems more likely. But I also like that when she uses it, she just yells garlic bazooka, and then
Did she say in English or in Japanese?
in English. It's so he goes to rescue girlfriend. They get outside. Evil vampire comes to stop them. Boyfriend tries to fight evil vampire and just fails miserably. Just like getting the shit kicked out of him. Like A+ for trying, but
Yeah.
but also they just handed him a knife and said, let's go. So it's not like he had any training on this.
Right.
Then girlfriend is like, I'll marry you, just let him go. And he's just like, okay, sweet, I win. And as she goes to like hug him so they can disappear away, she just stabs him in the stomach. And then he dies.
Very effective.
Good
Good job, main character.
I
lady.
wrote, she kills him in all caps with 3 hearts afterwards in my notes.
Good.
Which was delightful. So they defeat the evil vampires, but there's still 15 minutes left in the movie. And I'm like, what?
What?
How is this not the end?
And weddings.
So best friend.
Oh my gosh, there's a little heart from his bite.
Yep.
Yes, good.
So when you get bitten to be a vampire by someone you love, you get a little heart mark as your like little vampire mark
So
thing.
it's her Korean,
the
Korean
guy.
vampire hooks up with her friend who's going to be world famous mangaka.
Exactly.
I bet with that super speed she will produce the most manga pages.
She's gonna be very good at her job. But also,
And staying up until 3 o'clock in the morning is not going to be a problem for her.
She'll be up until 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
I think we have solved the mystery of how to be the best at comics.
Yeah.
It is be a vampire.
We just need to become vampires.
We've solved the mystery, everyone.
So she ran off with evil vampire.
Well, what happened was he was just like under the control of the evil vampire, but he didn't like it. He didn't want to be.
He should have maybe not dressed in all white then.
He should have thought things through.
It was foreshadowing this day.
This day when he gets to wear his own different, not all white clothes.
Well, it's mostly all white, except for a vest and a tie.
That's more than he had last time.
Yeah, it's so true. So is this heart mark permanent?
It seems to be. Because the uncle has that from when the aunt bit him. So I think it's just like if you were changed into a vampire by true love. Like it's not explicitly stated like that. But that does seem to be the implication.
Yeah.
That's when he decides that he will also be a vampire.
So he can also have a cutie mark.
It's basically, when he said this, I was like, you're my favorite character of anything ever.
I'll be the world's kindest.
Kindest vampire.
But she doesn't want him to be a vampire because she knows how much he hates vampires. And
He's like, it's cool.
he's like, no, you're my girl. I want to be with you. If this is what we gotta do, this is what we gotta do. It'll be cool. I'll be the world's kindest vampire. Don't go to the end for a bit.
Okay.
And so there's this. Once again, there's still 15 minutes left of the movie. So I'm like, what is gonna happen? They sleep together, which I was shocked by because that's not a thing that usually happens in these kind of movies.
Oh.
Then she erases his memory so that he can live a life happily by himself, not being a vampire. And I was like, oh, this bullshit. Like,
Yeah.
we went through so much together.
She didn't let him make his own choice.
Exactly. Thank you, Ma. That's how I felt too. And so it fast forwards to like a year later.
This is good gender reversal, though.
It is.
Usually it's the vampire dude that doesn't let
Exactly.
the heroine make her own
Exactly.
choice.
It's kind of reverse Twilight in a weird way. So fast forwards like a year later, and she's still working at the bakery, and everyone's worried about her because she's so sad. And he is back in town holding a concert because he's super famous now.
And now she turns him into a vampire so she can catch him up.
Well, it shows up on the radio that he's having a concert in town. And so the aunt and uncle and grandpa like trick her into going to the concert, basically. They're like, you have to urgently deliver this bread to the concert hall. And she doesn't question it. She's like, okay. That urgent bread delivery. And before she goes, the uncle is just like, just so you know, I never regretted becoming a vampire. I love living with your aunt and everyone, and this is the best thing ever. Like, you can see on her face that she's like, okay,
this is weird
uncle.
and very apropos of nothing. I have to actually go back to her best friend.
Go for it.
He eats people, right?
I assume he doesn't eat people anymore because he fell in love with a human. But
it's like,
there's no way of knowing how many
her friend now eating people.
Well, they also continue to work at the bakery, so I would assume that is a policy that employees are not allowed.
Does he eat people?
I don't know. This is the great mystery of Vampire in Love.
That was the thing that just occurred to me because it's like, wait, but he's not the kindest vampire in the world.
He is not. He's definitely not.
That's why this guy was all, you know what, it's not that difficult. I'll just feed nicer than that guy.
It's a very low bar. And he has to jump over. So she goes to the concert hall with her urgent bread delivery. And she hears him playing music and she still doesn't connect what's happening until she actually walks into the concert hall. And it's a pretty small concert hall, actually. And he's like doing the intro to his next song. And he's like, do you guys ever feel like you have a soulmate out there? And all the girls in the audience are like, it's you! And he's like, thank you, that's not what I meant.
And then he plays Delilah.
Oh, that would have been so good. Like, there's this girl that shows up in my dreams, and I've never met her, but I know I'll meet her someday. And everyone's, it's me, you've met me. And he's just like, you guys are not feeling what I'm feeling right now. Chill out. Like, he's like, I'm trying to have a serious conversation about my literal dream girl right now, and you guys are being fans. It's really annoying. So he plays this, like, beautiful song. Actually, this is probably the worst song of all the songs. Like, he is annoyingly...
Maybe should have actually played Hey Delilah.
Exactly. He's surprisingly good at singing. And, like, the songs so far have been very good. This one was probably the lowest. But mid-song, he looks up and sees her, and you can tell on his face, he's like, aw, shit, I know that girl. And she freaks out and runs away. And I don't know if he left the concert.
He just
totally did.
Jumps off the stage. But he meets her in the park, and he's like, it's you, isn't it? Like, I don't know what you're talking about. He's like, yeah, you do. You know, we have a connection. And she's like, and it's great because she goes, I erased your memory. You're not supposed to remember. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about, but we should get dinner. And then that's how the movie ends, with them introducing themselves to each other again, which was very uncool. I did not like. But then, in the credit sequence, in the credit sequence, they definitely got married. They definitely had a vampire baby.
Well, they at least had a vampire baby.
It definitely happened.
Yeah. And
I
there's a little panda.
Where?
Up at the top left of the frame.
Oh, it's in white. Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't see that before. Oh man, yeah, that panda's fucking everywhere. But yeah, so it ends with, like, I feel like they think this is a very cute shot, but it's very terrifying.
It is. This baby's gonna murder us all.
That baby is gonna kill things. They're gonna let that baby out of the bakery.
The new evil vampire.
The movie starts anew. The tradition continues.
So, did it look like those were prosthetic teeth on a baby or CG?
They look CG.
They look CG. I feel like it would be hard to get permission to put prosthetic teeth in a baby.
I was thinking that too.
Yeah, they look CG to me.
But they're pretty good CG.
Yeah.
Like, they look like a Lovecraftian horror bit.
So is that the very last frame after the credits?
Very last frame of the film. I feel like they think this is a happy ending, and in a way it is.
And then I imagine that there was a little heart that faded the rest of the...
There may or may not have been a little heart.
There needs to be.
Vampire pandas chasing each other on the bottom of the credits.
I'll be the world's kind.
Right? That's just
like when he says that, he is also saying that he's going to be kinder than her. And her granddad, and her uncle, and her aunt.
Well, he's not going to go around erasing people's memories without their permission.
That's true.
So.
That's a very good point. Yeah.
He doesn't, yeah, that's not fair. He doesn't even know she could do that.
On some level, he knows.
So do people that get turned into vampires also get a power? Oh, yeah, because the grandfather has a power.
I think the grandfather got turned into a vampire. This is briefly mentioned. He went to Europe to study bread making.
I wonder what his power is going to be.
I don't know.
It's going to be the power of love.
Maybe he can soothe people with his music.
He's going to be the dazzler of
their vampire X-Men team.
Oh my god. If they were vampire X-Men, that'd be so good. I would watch the hell out of that.
But then it would be ironic because he couldn't go out in the sun, but
he did go out in the sun because of the crazy juice.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But
that's why he can use light and sound and stuff.
It'll be great.
Yeah.
I also like the idea that all these vampires just continue working in a bakery.
In a bakery, yeah.
It's like you could do so many things, but instead you want to make things you can't even digest yourself.
Yeah. Why not just stay human then?
Also, now they don't have their bread taster.
Yeah, they've not thought this through.
Uh-oh.
We need to hire another random human.
She decided people taste better.
Looks sweet and innocent now, but pretty soon the rampage begins.
I'm sad they didn't do their meet cute where she trips on him and bites him, but
when the little like animated pandas are on the bottom of the screen, that kind of happens with the animated pandas.
One of them falls and bites somebody.
Yeah, like his like mouth is on the top of the other one's head, just like.
Oh.
It's pretty cute. Also kind of disturbing, but really cute. This whole movie, I think that describes the whole movie, really.
Yeah, no,
a little disturbing, but mostly cute.
And it took exactly an hour. It was amazing.
Yay!
Yay!
That was awesome. That was an awesome movie.
Thank you for explaining this to us.
Yes.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. It was delightful.
Yes.
Kind of, yeah. That's the movie. Just, oh, it's so pink.
I'm convinced. I want to see this.
I would watch it again. I quite liked it.
Do you own it?
I have it, yeah. So if we want to have a movie night where we all watch Vampire in Love, we can make that happen.
Perfect.
We still need to watch The Hunger. We should watch The Hunger and then this.
Yeah. Yeah. That which is also a Vampire in Love movie.
Oh yeah, technically true.
But also very iffy
Yeah.
on a lot of stuff as well. Some non-consensual behavior for sure.
Well, thanks everyone for watching us explain the pinkest vampire movie.
Yes, the pinkest and most glittery.
I don't know. I
Poster.
feel like Nightwalker's still glitterier.
Nightwalker may be more glittery. This is more pastel.
Yeah, this is more pink and more pastel, but Nightwalker definitely has more glitter.
It has more glitter. I'll give it that.
Yeah.
Since the vampires bleed glitter.
The only way they could have improved this film.
Yeah, well, thanks everyone for watching. We'll be back. I'll pull up my little calendar. The 8th, and we will talk about stiffs. I don't know what we're talking about.
I can't remember.
I think we're talking about when animals dream.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Did Joe say he could do that for the 8th, or do we need a different guest?
I think we had all seen them.
Well, no, Joe hadn't seen it.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that might be what we're talking about.
Okay. Well, so we might get us explaining a werewolf movie after this super pink vampire movie. Thanks everybody. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Bye.